Hello and welcome to Traffic Talks. My name is Pyro and I talk about what's going on in my life, usually with a lesson I've learned, some tips and tricks you can follow that helped me, and a lot of laughs in each episode. If this sounds like something you would enjoy hearing, feel free to follow the podcast, subscribe so you don't miss an episode, and to see what I'm up to, you can check out my Instagram page linked below. Bye! Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I hope you are doing well. I don't even know how to intro this episode because I am just exhausted, but I do have quite a bit to say, but I don't want to take too long. So I'm all over the show at the moment. I am just tired because I am a bit sick, but I'm trying to kind of just productivity hang over my way through this. So yeah, let's see how this goes. I might even upload this episode late because I am doing it on the last minute because life has been lifing. I think I did mention it last week. My mom was gone. She's still gone. She's only coming back later this week, and having to do a lot of things for yourself, I have found weirdly enough enjoyable. But I do have other things I need to tackle, and one of the things has been trying to figure out how to upload my podcast to YouTube, which I did mention in last week's episode. And it's just been a lot of behind the scenes admin. Like, I haven't even started editing and uploading that because it's a whole new format. I'm not going to get into it. It's a moot point, but there's so much stuff that goes into it. It's just really harrowing. Anyway, today's episode is one that I've actually been planning for 2 months, maybe 3. And it's basically slow and steady wins the race. I'm quite sure I've mentioned it in the past sometime, but I genuinely believe that. So at the end of March, after going through everything, just being overwhelmed, setting my goals and then starting with them, and then having the blame game episode set back, and then trying to take some time for myself to just figure things out. Those 5 weeks basically culminated in the long Easter weekend back in April, just triggering me to be so much more intentional, which is what I made an episode about a while ago. And if I can find that particular one, I'll link it. But that episode is basically all the lessons I've learned. But in order to learn those lessons, I had to go through everything prior to the Easter weekend in April. And that just made everything click for me. It's like I was having this weird combination lock running down my chest, and I was spinning all the numbers, and eventually it clicked. And something unlocked inside of me, and I was just like, oh wow, this is a whole new transformation. This is insane. And it's everything everyone already knows. And I mean that truly and deeply. You know exactly what you need to do today in order to prep your day for tomorrow. You need to know the steps you need to take tomorrow in order to have a good Friday. You need to know everything you need to do in order to make your weekend the most productive and fun weekend for you, which is going to lead you to next week, and so on and so forth. You know what you need to do. It's just the behemoth effort it's going to take to start. And for me, that 4-day long weekend in April, which was the Friday, Good Friday, the Saturday, Sunday, and then the Monday, which was a public holiday, those were game changers. Those days changed the game for me completely. So for me, I had to just sit down and make a list of everything I needed to do. And that was what I did on the day I took myself out and just had a me day. I ended up writing a list of things I wanted to do, I needed to do, just getting everything out mentally, like doing a complete brain dump and just throwing everything on a piece of paper and getting it out of my mind. Once I got home, because I had done this while sitting in Mug and Bean that I love, once I had gotten home, I did the same thing again, but with my space. So anything in my room that I didn't like, I was going to change. I made lists and I've been slowly tackling them because there's a lot I want to do. I want to change. I want to swap out, upgrade, take down, clear out, things like that. And that has been one of the things I've been focusing on very intensely, which is decluttering. And decluttering isn't just your physical space. There is so much clutter in your life, you may not even realize you have it. One of my biggest places of clutter was my email, to the point that I didn't touch it as much as possible. The podcast email is separate from my own personal private email, and a couple of months ago when I started decluttering, I had 19,000 something emails unread. And that's unread. Do you know how many I had read and not actually bothered with? It was astronomical. So I just decided to start. And much like this podcast, I always reference the first episode. Just start. You don't need anything special. You just need grit and willpower. Like, start. And that is my thing. I had to start on that huge task of inbox zero. And the thing is, inbox zero in the traditional sense is having no emails at the end of the day. My inbox zero is kind of like whatever feels like a zero to you. So for me, if there's like a couple of emails of stuff I need to do, I'm going to leave them unread, but at the top of my list. Everything else gets sorted into a labeled folder, section, whatever you call it, and they go there, and I mark them as read, and I'll eventually get back to them. But just getting that number to like 5, as it currently is, because there's a couple of things I need to print out and download from my email folder, or rather my emails, like that to me is fine. Eventually reaching that 0, I was just like, it took me a solid 5 weeks to bring it from 19,000 and something to the 0, i.e. 5, I feel comfortable with. And my emails have become manageable to the point where I can go 2-3 days and then get it back down to my 0. And I'm okay with that. That is now manageable. But if I have to think back on that mountainous number of emails I had, I cringe. Because my life would have been so much simpler if I had just found a way to keep it low and to keep going from there. That is what I need to do in every aspect of my life. Reach a comfortable, in quotations, 0 in whatever it is. Declutter, cut down, throw away, unsubscribe, most importantly, from things that no longer serve you. And that has been the best thing I have done so far. So, decluttering is my goal. Like, declutter every single thing. I've done that with a few stuff, my emails being one. I'm still working on a couple of other digital areas that are cluttered, like my Google Photos. I've got backed up photos for years, and the thing is, I have the actual photo, I have the backup of the photo, and I have another copy of the photo somewhere. So I'm just trying to amalgamate everything, sift and sort through it, and it's a process. But the thing is, I caused this problem myself. I need to solve this problem myself, and once I have a solid system for doing that, I think it will go much smoother, and also it will prevent it from happening again in the future. And that is kind of the thing. Just tackling it one step at a time is the best thing I could possibly do. And it's the same with me trying to get this YouTube thing going and putting my stuff there, because I spoke to a friend of mine, and the main point of me putting it there is because I want people to eventually hear this podcast, and hopefully something I say anytime I've ever said it on a podcast could lead them to doing something better for themselves, thinking differently, doing something differently, learning something new they didn't know. That is what I want. And I know everyone has a different platform they listen on, and I know YouTube is one of those, and that's why I want to do it there. Yes, there is the monetization aspect, but I'm just like, if I get it, I get it. If I don't, I don't. This is not a day job I'm trying to make of it, but I just want to put it there as well. Plus, I do love playing around with a whole new aspect of my creativity, because like I said at the beginning, it's a whole other ballgame trying to upload things to YouTube. So that is just challenging myself creatively, but it's something that's going to help me set up systems in place for managing all of my digital clutter in terms of my podcast. which I'm trying to clear out. Physical clutter is really not that hard for me to deal with in terms of my room and my area. I generally have a good system going. I am still trying to declutter a couple of things, but I've been doing well. And taking it one bite at a time is going to be my biggest tool, which is what I would suggest to anyone and everyone trying to do something, especially in these winter months. It's cold, you don't feel like doing stuff, but just trust me, once you get going, it's kind of like, I want to say an infestation, but I want it to be nice. Like once you start decluttering something, clearing something, constantly doing something, you want to keep going, you want to do it more, you want to do it everywhere. That sounded weird, I apologize. But it's literally what it is. It's contagious. It makes you want to keep decluttering things. Like, oh, I forgot about that area. Let's declutter it. Oh, I forgot I've got that one box in a cupboard. Let me go through that. There are so many things you can declutter, clean out and get rid of that you have no idea. Case in point, my brother was cleaning out his cupboard of everything and he found a whole bunch of stuff and I claimed a jacket from it. Like a legit Nike jacket. I am obsessed with it. It's purple and yellow and just amazing. I love it. So I'm going to wash the jacket and wear it and it's now mine. Like, thank you. My sister did the same thing and she found a whole bunch of clothes that wasn't even hers in her room. She's just like, why are these things in my cupboard? If this is yours, take it. If not, cool. And I've got like 5 outfits. From that, we found some jeans I'm gonna find a place to donate to. But it made such a big difference to the entire atmosphere of just doing those things. And it's extended to other areas in our house, like our kitchen. And I'm just like, I didn't even realize what a big difference something so small would make. And we've just been doing it for about a week. I mean, imagine what you could get done in a month, in 6 months, in a year. So it's been slow and steady, but that's the thing. Like, do that for yourself because you are worth it. You are seriously worth enjoying your life and what you've got. So try it. Declutter something and see how it works out for you. And if you have decluttered something and you don't feel like you need to do that anymore, find something interesting to do with your time. Find something that you can challenge yourself with and make it your frog that you eat in the morning. Like make it your eat the frog task or your getting things done task. Like try that. But I do think giving yourself a running start is definitely the best thing you can do, especially a long weekend. That for me changed the game. Like having those 4 days of Easter weekend to just jump right in made a massive difference because I cleaned I think 3 of my pigeonhole cupboard things and I found so much stuff. I ended up upgrading my stationery because there was a couple of containers that I could upcycle. It is worth it. Abso-freaking-lutely. So yeah, that is my 2 cents. Just try it, I think is the takeaways. Get started, try and declutter something, or even just take stock. Just take stock of what you have and where you have it, because I think in the digital age we live in, people overlook that a lot of the time until you get that annoying message that says your storage is 98% full. Like, really? What have I put here? So definitely check on what you have and how much you have of it. Yeah, that is it for this episode. The song of the week, which I thought was very cute, was One Step at a Time by Jordan Sparks, because I always say, eat the elephant one bite at a time, one step at a time. See the connection? Yeah, so that's the episode of the week. I hope you try it. And if you do, let me know. And I will see you in next week's episode. Keep being a better being. Love you. Bye.